Yes, guys, how you doing? Good morning, Football Inc. I hope you are all happy and healthy. It's another early one today, 10:30. We got things to do. Busy day, people. Busy day. Lots to talk about. And Johnny's here with me, of course. Please do smash the like button for us if you enjoy the content. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Notification button should be squeezed and comments should be dropped thick and fast. We are available on all of your podcast platforms. And we are also sponsored by OK Jersey. Now, it says on the code here that if you stick in code FINK at checkout, you get 8% off. Well, actually, I need to update that because until the 1st of February, you can actually get 15% off by using code FINC15 for all of your footballing and non-footballing sports athleisure, clobber, your Jeremy Jacquets, your training gear, your branded, your unbranded, your 1901 reasons why you might want to go check it out. Go check it out. Code FINK15 gets you 15% off at checkout. Big up to them. Johnny, big up to you. How are you?
All good. There was me thinking last night, what would there be talking? Well, actually, yesterday afternoon, what would there be to talk about at 10:30 in the morning? Little did I know the title race would be blown wide open. Frank would still be in a job. Slots on the brink. Carrick's being hailed as the Messiah who changed it all and brought Kobe Mainu back to life and so on and so forth. Never a dull moment. And that's why I love this channel, Football Inc. Because although Sean and I are obviously Spurs fans, we also love football. And there's so much to talk about all the time. Spurs is the gift that keeps on giving as far as news is concerned. Normally humiliating, laughable news. But other clubs have some serious stuff now and again. Well, I don't know, where should we start, Sean? Should we start with last night's?
Yeah, let's definitely start with the Arsenal game, shall we, mate? Fantastic game.
Fantastic game of football. I thought Arsenal controlled it for the first sort of 20 minutes, 25 minutes. United couldn't get a foothold in the game. But I thought they defended well. Maguire back in, sort of commanding stuff with Lisandro Martinez. I thought they did really well containing Arsenal. And then the game started to change. It really did. And I thought, you're pulling up the table there. I thought United were really impressive towards the end of the first half. And I thought the only thing was the own goal. I think it was about 25 minutes they were okay, United, and then a freak own goal. It came in. Was it the inside of Lisandro Martinez's boot? I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of moments where they broke the line, Man United, and tried to go through on goal, but they were flagged offside. And then Mbuemo put through. It was.
They didn't have a touch in Arsenal's penalty box.
No.
Yet scored 3 goals.
Correct. Zubamendi's mistake to put in Brian Mbuemo. But saying that, the finish was really calm for that goal. It really was calm.
Two things you learned from that performance, though, mate. One is, if I was saying this last night with Dan Potts, I think if you are, I still think Arsenal are obviously favourites for the league, and I still think they're going to do well in the cups. But if they're trying to win the Champions League, where there's actual decent competition in the form of Real Madrid, of Bayern Munich, of PSG, of Barcelona, one of these teams out there, if you're looking at that game, why can I hear the echo again? Oh, crying out loud. Is the echo back?
I can't hear it, but...
Mate, it's got to be something on your eggs. It doesn't happen on any other stream apart from when I'm with you, Johnny. It wasn't me after all. It was you all along, Johnny. You put yourself on mute, though. What was I going to say? The one thing I think you can learn is that Manchester United, when they conceded that goal, you're like, oh, that's it. They've got the lead now. But United came straight back at them. They didn't let their heads drop, and they were aggressive, and they kind of played. I thought they played sort of fearless, and so that's a bit of a template maybe for other teams on how to do it. And then the second thing I'd take away from that game is, like these bloody nerds that have ruined the game. They've ruined the game by saying like XG. You can't shoot. You can't shoot from outside the box because the probability is so low that it's just not worth doing. So don't do it. It's ruined football. Well, actually, these players are capable of sticking the ball in the bins. And for me, I think that should be a lesson that people should be able to take a little bit more. Mateus Fernandes took the ball by the horns on the weekend twice. Once getting an unbelievable goal, the other one rattling the crossbar, I think it was. Maybe we can now hopefully get past this bullshit of like no one shoots outside the box because...
What about Slobodsai? Yeah,
he does it all the time as well, doesn't he?
Shoots from outside the box. Look, I thought the thing is, it's like Amorim's gone. The shackles of detailed micromanagement tactics, robotic tactics are dead. They really are dead. And they let off those shackles and we saw what happens. I mean, basically, for me, it was Mikel Arteta's cyborg malfunction, right? That's what it was. It was a cyborg malfunction. The robotic program broke down for Arsenal because they didn't have shackles. They felt like they were playing to a specific, you must be here, you must be here, you must be here, and adhere to it. Whereas, as you quite rightly said, Manchester United played with freedom. They played with freedom to express themselves in the middle of the park. And the goals were absolutely superb. Which one did you think was best?
Oh, Cunha's goal was sensational at the end, especially because it just meant so much as well, right?
But Dorgu's goal, the touch and the finish and the interplay was just superb.
Yeah,
absolutely superb.
That was great as well. It was a fantastic goal as well. Both goals were worthy match winners, to be honest. But I'm delighted that in fact, Jonny, I think I know what it is. If I bring back the share screen again, I just want to test something with you in real time here.
They're saying they can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's gone now, right? But you can see now it's come back. You see on the screen beneath you, Jonny, where there's the picture of this thing that's coming on the screen. Right, can you click on the mute screen audio? Click on the microphone on that particular box, not on yours, on the one next to it, and the middle one. Yeah. Now see if it's gone. No, it's just back. For fuck's sake. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway,
they can't hear anything. They can't hear anything.
Some of them can. Let's have a quick look at the table. Only 4 points in it now, Jonny. Is the title back on?
Well, listen, it's got to be back on. But, one swallow doesn't make a summer. I think they've got Leeds away next game, which is never an easy place to go to. No doubt Leeds will have a breakdown in injury just before the game. No doubt there'll always be something. But look, Manchester United didn't threaten Arsenal over and over and over again. Those were long-range shots, super shots. Arsenal controlled the game in many moments. But look, they can smell it. And if they can smell fear, then that could be it. So any drop points against Leeds and the title's back on. It's definitely back on because let's be honest, they've got to play Manchester City still. Manchester City just trying to ease Rodri back. Mark Gahey made a huge difference in their defence.
Semenyo back now as well. Semenyo in there scoring goals immediately. No trouble settling in.
Yeah. So I think I think City are starting to just get themselves together. I think Aston Villa will be massively ruining the home defeat against Everton last week, which was totally inexplicable. I just couldn't understand how that happened, but it did. It was a blip, and maybe this is just a blip for Arsenal. But what was enjoyable was watching the entitled Arsenal fans go into absolute meltdown. Right. Yeah. This is a team, nearly every team this season has suffered. There's been no consistency at all. Liverpool, Man City, we've Spurs, Chelsea. We've all suffered all the way down. Have suffered terrible results and disappointing results and bad runs of form. But Arsenal really haven't. Their bad run of form is to draw a game. So to watch them all in meltdown, you'd think their family member had died when you looked at the crowd last night. I was jumping up and down.
There was a video. I forget the guy whose name he does it. He's just put together all of the compilations of all the Arsenal fans going into meltdown, extended clip versions, and some of them are absolutely insane. I see Lee Gunner going after Egal on a personal level because because Egal's so positive and Lee's like usually so negative or leans towards the likely outcome. The guy. I forget his name. He used to be on AFTV and now does his own thing. He was banging his chair, effing and blinding.
Oh, I saw him. Yeah, jumped up. Yeah, Troops was
That's it.
Troops was going mad. And were you on with Dan Potts last night? I like Dan. He's actually a nice bloke.
Yeah. I went on at 9:30 for a cheeky hour. Yeah, that was funny though. It was just lots of banter. The West Ham fan, Lawless, is he's very funny. You know, you sit there. He's now thinking that Tottenham are going down ahead of West Ham. It was just.
Well, they made listen. West Ham have made some signings, but one thing from the Man United game, Matheus Cunha is looking like he's going to get retrospective action for screaming into the microphone. Personally, I didn't hear.
What did he say?
Well, he grabbed hold of the mic, didn't he, when he was screaming and swore. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but retrospective action from the FA.
What,
they got nothing better.
The microphone that's attached to the camera.
Yeah, where he ran to score when he scored the goal, and he was screaming.
Yeah.
And then he looked in at the camera, worldwide global audience, and said something. Yeah.
That's sensational. Get it off your chest, mate. Get it off your chest. In front of 2 or 3 billion people, you know.
Oh yeah, I thought it was fantastic. So look, Michael Carrick.
Who wins from 2? What a start.
2 wins from 2. More points in 2026 than Thomas Frank in just 2 games in 9 days. Interesting stat. But look, it was quite interesting when some of the Man United sort of legends were asked, should Michael Carrick get the job? And the response was, behave yourself.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure.
I remember Paul Scholes and was it Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt, I think, or Paul Scholes and someone they were going through players and they were like, yes to Glasner, yes to this, no to that. And I didn't hear them say about Michael Carrick, but they did say yes to Roy Keane, which I found a little bit odd because Roy Keane isn't really a tactical guy, is he? He's just someone that says, you know,
he's a motivator, isn't he?
Kinda, yeah, I guess so. Just work harder, you baby. You know, basically what he says.
It's sort of an Irish Ange Postecoglou, sort of thing. Yeah,
it's a bit more aggressive with it.
Yeah,
you know.
Wow,
he's going to lead with the stick. I mean, I'll beat the shit out of you if you don't.
If you don't perform.
If you don't perform,
yeah, 100%. But listen, has Michael Carrick set Man United free again? That is the question. And I would have to say yes, judging by the fact of their result against Manchester City, where they destroyed Manchester City and they beaten Arsenal.
Is it
they
just
set them free? You're going to say it's the bounce. It might well be the bounce. But if you're going to bounce in style to beat Manchester City so comfortably and to get that win away from Arsenal, away from home at Arsenal, is a great indication. And the fact that he's brought Mainu back,
yeah, well, that was the easiest win in the world, wasn't it, to do that? And then Mainu's like skipping, like dancing all the way to the training ground every day because he's finally getting a chance. Goes to prove, like Amorim, obviously, you know, he didn't. By the end there, it wasn't just Amorim that was sick and tired of the board. It was the players maybe that were sick and tired of Amorim as well. Like there was a bit of downing of tools. I genuinely do believe that a lot of the new manager bounce is really just a regression to the mean, and that by the end it's the players that have stopped playing for the players, not for the manager. So they're 15-20% less efficient, less effective because they're either it's a deliberate thing or maybe it's just like a subconscious, like we're tired, we're fatigued of this guy's narrative and it's just not working and we want something fresh. And so you could probably see something change if there was a Thomas Frank, change of manager at Tottenham. I guess that's where you were leading the question, right? Like, but at the same time, Johnny, what I would say is I think Michael Carrick, if he does carry on doing well, will he get the job in the fall? And then what does that mean for the Glasner project that we were predicting that was going to take place next season?
Well, it's an interesting thing. First of all, Manchester United have got a huge protest coming up that they organised before Carrick was appointed for the Fulham game, right? I don't know how that one's going to stand right now. And the second thing was miserable, long-faced Jim Ratcliffe. Sir Jim Ratcliffe was videoed at the coming out the stadium through the stadium with the hugest smile on his face I think I've ever seen. I mean, who knows? Listen, as we said, it's a long way to go, but if he maintains it, there has to be questions. The first thing that was said was, he failed at Middlesbrough. The fact that he did well at Middlesbrough before he failed at Middlesbrough is, is neither here nor there. But listen, I wish him all the luck because it's always good to see. Well, he's an ex-Spurs boy. I was always pissed off. I never realised just how much we would miss him until he'd gone, to be truthful with you. His passing was always sublime. But being a midfielder, I would have always thought the way he liked to play football, he would be pretty progressive in his game. So, and so he was. Guys, if you're here in the chat, welcome, good morning. Please hit the like and subscribe button here for the first time. Where do you want to go next? Shall we talk about an interesting story before we go on to Onslaught and the problems that he's having? I was reading that Mark Gahey was apparently lying on an MRI machine in Liverpool Medical Centre when he was told that his summer move to Liverpool was off.
Who was?
Mark Gahey.
On an MRI machine.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was having his Liverpool medical on an MRI. So he was inside the MRI machine having his scan.
At Liverpool?
Well, with the Liverpool medical team. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And they said it was done. It was because Parish pulled the plug on.
And then Parish pulled the plug. Yeah. I wonder how Liverpool now view that. And I wonder how, Slott's obviously, in a bit of a contrary. He's lost Gahey. He's now refused the latest. We'll come on to that, to let Andy Robertson come to Spurs. Rumours that Spurs are after Curtis Jones, and it's like over my dead body. But I just wonder whether or not, the pressure really is on Slot now with Alonso now being free. Although he said he wanted a sabbatical for a few months until the summer, Slot's under that much pressure, and there's rumours circulating last night and today that they're already in talks with Alonso's representatives. Now, whether that's with a view to the summer and seeing how it goes with Slot from here on in, but do you think Slot, having done all that he did for Liverpool last year, that he deserves?
Did he do a lot for them last year, or did he just inherit? I know, but of course, I'm sort of being facetious. But I mean, did he He didn't really have. He did nothing changed, right? The team was well put together. The team was a year younger than it is now, and he came in and just inherited a perfectly, it's almost like I don't know, like a captain on an airplane coming in and putting it on autopilot and putting his feet up and thinking he's done a good job. But the first time that there's some sort of rocky weather and the autopilot machine has to be switched off and you have to do a bit of manual flying, you're really struggling. I don't know if this season they made a lot of changes. For me, I think that the the struggles for Arne Slot this season. They changed too much. They didn't have a balanced transfer strategy. They changed too much up the top end, and then you've had the ongoing problems with Mo Salah, which is definitely probably causing some legacy tensions around the club still, and obviously this the loss of the player who died in the car crash. Those sorts of things have probably been really stressful and unexpected amounts of chaos, right? But I don't know. I don't know if Arne Slot has really proven himself to me at Liverpool. Like, he won the title, but like I say, it was just a well-oiled machine that he just came in and just carried on. I don't even really think he changed the tactics too much, did he? You're on mute.
For me, I've always been a huge Arne Slot fan. When he was at Feyenoord, they had no money. Most of the team was sold from right underneath his feet, much against his will. He then had to find players from second division teams because they didn't have the money, and he went again. He got them into Europe. Interestingly, Heitinger, who so many Spurs fans seem to think is crap, was part of his backroom staff at Feyenoord. And I always thought that this is a guy, he was idolised by his Feyenoord players. And I thought he was the absolute perfect manager for Spurs. And I was so excited when we were linked with him. I thought, this is the guy we really need. Progressive, attacking football. Players liked him, so on and so forth. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And he went to Liverpool. And I remember very early days, because I made such a big thing about Arne Slot. They lost to Nottingham Forest at home. And I got like, your Arne Slot's pile of shit. He went on to win the title. But I thought his football, Sean, was very good. Yes, of course, having followed Klopp, you're always going to get that. You're always going to get that sort of throwback. But when you look at someone like Alex Ferguson, when Alex Ferguson left, right, it fell off a cliff. David Moyes couldn't replicate that in any shape, way, or form. Yeah, I did think that
Alex Ferguson. No one replaced Alex Ferguson. Like, there's a lot. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely no mean feat to come in and to immediately win a trophy, the Premier League trophy. 100% fair play to him. But I would maintain that, in my opinion, I think the analogy I use there is probably one I'm going to stick with. I think that the plane was on autopilot. But this season has been a hell of a lot of bad weather, and so the pilots had to take manual control of the plane, and I don't think he's done a very good job at all. I think he's really struggled this year.
Well, listen, the football is definitely different. I mean, like, everyone's football at the moment is totally different. I'm hating football this season. I mean, I loved the game yesterday, and I love some of the games that
That's because it went back to a different version of football, didn't it?
Yeah, because Man United played Carrick. That's what I'm saying. Carrick took the reins off. Yes, the first 29 minutes was all about 25 minutes was all about survival, and then they conceded that goal. But they didn't let it stop them playing, with that mindset of attacking the ball and playing with some freedom. And that's why I said, the cyborgs, Arteta cyborgs malfunctioned, right? The robots screwed up, right? And look,
I can't wait to see how Arsenal. Is their next game away? It's away at Leeds, is it?
Yeah, so I think it's away at Leeds. But look, all I'm saying
That's
here is
a difficult place to go after a tricky loss, mate.
Listen, Spurs. I think it's only Spurs and Villa that have won at Leeds this season. Remarkably, I was up there, old school ground. Love it. But look, I just think football in general has been pretty poor, and Liverpool seem to have sunk from that exciting football that they played last year to what they're playing this year. Salah is a shadow of his former self, and obviously the tragic loss of Jota has made a huge difference. And I was talking to a Liverpool fan. I was actually out with a Liverpool fan on Saturday there, and we were talking about the fact that the ghost of Jota hangs over Liverpool Football Club in that changing room. And we'll be speaking about the fact that they have the shirt hung there on its peg with his belongings.
Yeah, that's a problem.
When you go there, now, listen, it's incredibly respectful, but I wonder, every time you come in,
Yeah. It's a dampener, isn't it? Real mood killer.
You know, you sat next to him or you looked over him, and every time you see him or you see his ghost and his shadow, whether that's had some sort of detrimental effect.
They should move that somewhere else. They should have a shrine for him, like whatever. Do what you got to do, keep the respect up, but don't the dressing room. The dressing room, imagine you coming in and he's like, oh god, he's not here.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, let's get up for a big game of football now. Like, it would take the sting out of the energy, wouldn't it?
They still clap on the 20th minute. Every game, a home game.
Yeah,
the whole crowd clap. I mean, listen, fantastic stuff. In fact, I'd like to get the guy on who did the murals for this. I spoke to you about it. We'll have to get him on and tell us all the stories about all the murals he's done. But look, I think he's under threat. And I'd like to think, I mean, can you see it happening before the end of the season? Or do you think Alonso will be respectful and just bide his time?
Well, listen, I mean, at the moment, Liverpool sit in 6th spot.
Is this 7 defeats? Is it 7 defeats? I can't remember now.
They've had 7 defeats. They've drawn 4 of their last 5. They haven't won in 5, and they lost again. And they've got Newcastle up next. And so, they're outside of the Champions League spot. Like, at the moment, it's anyone's game. Obviously, the top 3 are the top. I believe the top 3 are going to be the top 3, right? Arsenal, City, and Villa are going to be the top 3. Manchester United on a little bit of form right now, but we've had this conversation before, right? That guy with his haircut, that guy who's been growing his hair for the last 18 months. It's almost touching, it's almost getting to the second story, the second floor of a building, and he's probably sitting there going, 3 more wins and I can finally get my haircut. And we've been through this before, haven't we? We've had these little full storms under Manchester United. I don't know. Well, time will tell whether this is a new manager bounce or if there's actually something sort of meaningful to it. But at the moment, back to the question, if Liverpool slip outside of the top, and they're only 2 points ahead of Fulham, 3 points ahead of Brentford, who Brentford lost the last couple, everyone can beat everybody. If Liverpool really want to get in that Champions League revenue to be able to go again in the summer, then they might need to make a move and get rid of Arne Slot.
Yeah.
They might need to.
I just think that it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. I don't know whether all the events that have happened have affected all the squad. I mean, Salah's fallen off of a cliff. Alexis McAllister hasn't been the same player.
Players are becoming selfish as well. Like I said to you before, I think Florian Wirtz has had a really hard, people have been slagging him off. In fact, he got away with it for the first 10 games. When Liverpool were doing well, getting all those late goals, people weren't really noticing how poor Florian Wirtz, or allegedly poor, he had been. And then people started to catch up when Liverpool's form started to take a dip and all that. And then they weren't getting those late goals, those late winners. People then started to notice Florian Wirtz. I then went back and had a look at it. And I actually think that a hell of a lot of times Florian Wirtz got himself in really great positions, but that Mo Salah or other players like Cody Gakpo at the time, they just weren't finding him. They sort of were trying to take it all on themselves. And I think that selfishness sometimes is the manifestation of an unhappy environment, because people are there's I don't know, arguments or just disharmony. Then people go, fuck it, I'm going to take it on myself. I'm going to be the hero. And ultimately, if yes, you might be a hero one time out of 5, but most of the time you're better off finding someone in a better position. So I think Florian Wirtz has sort of had a bit of a reputational slander, because I actually think he's been working hard and putting himself in better positions than he's been rewarded for by his teammates.
I actually personally think that the recruitment team have got a lot to answer for this season. I mean, I'm banging on. I feel like I've really keep repeating myself, but right at the beginning of this stream when we started last summer, we said before the window opens that Liverpool need to address the defensive issue. And they didn't. They had Quansu's gone to buy Leverkusen. They presumption is the mother of all fuck-ups, right? Never presume anything, right? They presumed they were going to get Gahey, right? Gomez is constantly injured. Konate can't decide whether he's going to stay or go, and he's having a shocking season. And Virgil van Disney is basically up and down like a yo-yo. They should have addressed that centre-back issue. And had they put the foundations in place, then spent the money on the forward things, I don't think Liverpool would be in the mess they're in now. They are as open as Bonnie Blue times, and I think that they've really made some shocking mistakes. And, obviously...
Isak was a mistake.
Well, at the moment...
I know he's injured now. Yeah. He's out for a long time. But
yes, I do. And I'll tell you why, because I just don't think they needed him more than they needed to rebuild the defence. I mean, when you think what they spent on Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, those were the two players, Sean, that transformed Liverpool. If you remember, Spurs were ahead of Liverpool, if you can believe that or remember that. Not that long ago, when we were at Wembley, we were beating them 4-1. Klopp had come in and it was all a bit of a struggle. They went out and splashed the cash on a top goalkeeper and a top centre back. Yeah. And those have been the main staple for their regeneration, basically.
But they sold. How much did they get for Coutinho? 120 million or 100 euros, I think it was. And then they bought the two players, Alisson and Van Disney, and they've been there for the last 9 years. Yeah,
but to ignore the defensive situation and just focus purely. And I didn't think they needed that. You got Curtis Jones coming through. Do you need Wirtz as well? Do you need all of those players? Did you need Alexander Isak at that moment? I don't think they did. I think they, as I said, needed. Well, now they're trying to address it by looking at buying Mickey van der Ven. If they're going to buy Mickey van der Ven, they're going to have to get very near probably the Alexander Isak money or Florian Wirtz money.
Yeah, it's going to be close to that.
It's going to be 100 million plus, right? There's no way.
Would you be okay with that?
If he wants to go and demands to go, then I'd have to say yes, to be honest.
Do you think do you have any confidence that Tottenham will be able to reinvest that in, either put it straight into someone else that can come in that's of that quality, or someone else that's a really highly rated, younger guy like the next Mickey van der Ven, whatever? Yeah. But go and pay a number that the other selling club can't. I don't know who that guy would be. Maybe Buongiorno. Maybe it's one of the guys out of Sporting. Ignacio, I think his name is. Like, there's, or that guy. Who's the other one? Diamandi, not Yan Diamandi. The other one though. The one who plays in Portugal right now.
I know the one.
We were talking about him in the summer.
So, will they reinvest the money? Do I trust the ball to invest the money? Can I have a long think about it, Sean? No.
Yeah,
no.
And that's the problem then, isn't it? That's the problem, right?
The only thing that I would say is if they sell the club, which would be fantastic, right? If they sold the club and the incoming owners said, we have ambition, we want to win the league, and here is a pot of gold because you've got FFP and PSR clearance here. We can invest £200-300 million straight away into the squad. Then I think maybe they would. We haven't replaced Modric. We haven't replaced Kane. We haven't replaced Bale. We haven't replaced Sonny. We are not in the replacement business. When you look at someone like Brighton, you look at someone like Brentford, they have a succession plan for everything. No one goes unless there's a succession plan. We don't have one. We sold Brennan Johnson. I'm all for that. But where was the player in that position to replace him? Right? Yeah. Where was it?
That's the thing again, isn't it? Like you can have a plan, but I could sit there and say, I'm looking for a new girlfriend. My 6 preferred profiles are, the girl from The Wolf of Wall Street, Cheryl Cole, Britney Spears. Well, you know what I mean? And suddenly you're going, oh, she doesn't want to be my girlfriend. No, that one there. No, she's already married, is she? Okay, shit. At what point do you get to Tottenham Hotspur might have had 6 names on the list, but Keenan Yildiz was never going to leave Juve, in my opinion. Yeah, Yan Diamandi was always going to be of the attention of bigger teams. And then the injuries happen. Savio, Malik. I mean, we failed with Savio in the summer. Nothing. I don't know why there would have been any sort of necessary reason to believe something would have changed had it not been for the injury. And so, like, yeah, you sell Brennan Johnson because there was an opportunity, and it looks like great business, by the way, because he's done absolutely terribly for Palace so far. Palace fans are sitting there on Twitter going, "What on God's green earth have we bought?"
Thank you, Parish. Thank you, mate. You smashed our transfer record. You smashed your transfer records for that. Unbelievable. That's why you don't let Dougie Freeman go. I tell you what, if I was Spurs right now, I would get on the phone to Dougie Freeman and offer him all the gold that he can eat. Because let me tell you, that guy is unbelievable. His track record, recruitment track record. I can actually think of one Brazilian that he bought, which was a bit of a flop, right? But other than that, Elise, Eze, Gahey. I mean, the list is on. Ismail Sarr, Mateta, Walton. While others were thinking and umming and ahhing and divering, he was straight in. Yeah. Straight in. And he knows talent.
I wonder why he went to Saudi, though. Like,
because he was offered, right? Because
sure, I know he's offered a lot of money, but I mean, like, but it's Saudi Arabia. Like, which team is he at? Is it Neom he's at? I forget which team he's at.
So what he was offered, because my mate's done a lot of business with him over the years as Eze's agent, but he went out there because it was like a sort of an overall sporting. He might have been your manager.
Who do you support, Belgrade Wanderer?
Barnet.
You're a Barnet man, are you?
He's a very good director of football. He was never a great manager. I think he might have been talking about when he was manager of Barnet. I'm not sure. But
Bolton.
Yeah, but Bolton. So listen, he was offered the overall sporting director of All Sport. Huge opportunity. I think they were a second division club he went to. But listen, that's the sort of guy that you need to bring in, because right now I don't think and Paul O'Keefe mentioned it funny last night on Billy T's show with Connor, that has Johan Lang ever signed a major player? He's good at signing the kids, but has he ever signed a major first team player that's been a success? For me, we need to get someone in as soon as possible.
Did he sign Tillemans for Villa?
I don't know. That's just what he was saying.
A lot of the Villa fans that I've spoken to, and I think Cece was, if she's here, maybe she can let us know. I think I asked her before, but a lot of the Villa fans respect what he did. I think that a lot of the credit of where Villa are at now is because of the work that he put in 3-4 years ago at Aston Villa, and that those players have grown up. So I don't think he's a complete waste of space. I just think he comes across as someone that doesn't have, a personality, and therefore, if you see a team that's struggling and he's responsible for the strategy, and then when you everything you see of him, he just looks like a back office manager, mid manager sort of guy with a suit, and no personality. Then I think people put 2 and 2 together and assume that he's shit. But I don't know. If you ask Aston Villa fans, they were relatively happy with what he did, I think.
Listen, I was on the train last season away to Crystal Palace, and I was sat with one of the main guys at CAA, and I said to him, "That Johan Lang, man, he's useless." And he turned around to me and he said, "But he's a really nice guy."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice guys come second in this business. Right. I speak to my friend about, over the years, over the 25 years or whatever he's been in football. I've followed him around the days of chasing around, and there's some utter shitbags in this game. Can you imagine some of the backstabbing with agents, clubs, and all this? This game is not for the faint-hearted, right? And he doesn't look like he possesses an inner Kevlar vest, to walk it. When you look at
I'm not sure if he'd step over his own grandmother to get a sale sort of thing.
Yeah. And when you look at Paratici, he looks like he's got all the equipment. He looks like he's got everything that one needs to swim with the sharks.
Yeah.
Do you know what
criminal
I mean?
background, yeah.
Yeah. But it's true. It's true.
But, should we do some transfer news, views, and clues, mate?
Yep, let's go. Let's go with some of those.
The rumor mill, it's time we went there to speculate, gesticulate on who will go where.
With only one place to start, and this is the on again, off again. Jordan Henderson did it again. Andy Robertson story. Apparently, as it stands, the deal is off, Johnny.
Yeah, it's off, mate. It's off because he came on for second 45 minutes, had a very good 45 minutes, and he says he can't afford to let him go. They're not sure whether Tsimikas, Roma won't let Tsimikas go back because it'll affect their season unless they can get a replacement. So it's if one domino can fall, then the others could well follow. So basically, Spurs fans would need Roma to find the replacement to then tick all the boxes to allow Robertson to come. I wonder if he was watching the game, whether he wants to come. That's quite an interesting one. But yeah, I'm kind of.
I think he definitely wants to come. I think the project would probably be quite exciting. But like I say, if Roma can't find a left back to replace Tsimikas, we're in a house. We're in like a house chain. You know,
But
we're trying to sell our house, but we can't sell our house until the next guy sells theirs.
But Sean, it's January the 26th. Let's address the elephant in the room. Okay. We were told there's 150 million to spend. We were told before the demonstration at the West Ham game that the club were doing everything to bring in players. Okay. Stick with us. We know that the squad isn't good enough. We know it's not, the quality is not good enough. We are going to raise our wage threshold. Well, that's great, isn't it? So why would you can announce that in the middle of a fucking transfer window, right? Why would you do that? So okay, so Andy Robertson's coming. Yeah, we'll pay you 140 grand a week. Well, hang on. I just heard the Venai say that you're going to up your wages, so we'd like an extra 20 grand a week. Okay. I mean, why would you announce that in the middle of the transfer window? Why would you do that?
Oh, because of all the pressure around what's the plan, Batman.
I understand that, but you're a businessman.
No,
right?
I hear you.
Right?
Like, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, right? If he doesn't say anything, then it's like you're not saying anything. If you do say something, we're criticising what he says.
No. Listen, ambition, understanding that the squad needs to be improved. Get all of that. Right? That's music to everyone's ears. The quality is no good. Blah 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 blah. But you don't say, and we're willing to smash our threshold. And then here we are, 26th of January.
Yeah.
26th of January. We've got an opportunity which presented itself with Conor Gallagher.
Well,
right?
we overpaid massively, by the way.
Which we overpaid for. And we've got the Brazilian, a Brazilian kid, right? That's it. We have sold one player, we bought one player, and we got a kid. If that is ambition, right? I'm Susan Boyle's lover. Honestly, it's.
How has Susan Boyle suddenly got into our stream?
I don't know, but Susan Boyle always
of our
comes
stream.
up.
Susan Boyle is Bonnie Blue is a part of our stream every show, and Susan Boyle is, and occasionally Mother Teresa gets a word in as well. This is. I agree with you, Johnny. It's like it is mad. With regards him saying what he said, though, if he doesn't include the bit about the wage structure, then everything else is just paying lip service and pointing out the blinding obvious, right? What's our plan? Well, we're going to utilize our youth team better, right? Either to support our first team or to support the purchases of further first team players. We're going to, try and improve in the windows when we can. Obvious, all that stuff is just like, what are you doing? Like, I don't need to know that because that's obvious. The one part in there which sounded interesting and was new information. What is the bit that you're quite correct to call out the stupidity of giving that information out? And therein lies the problem. Every time you communicate something, you're not just communicating it to one person, you're communicating it to the world. And so
Every agent.
I completely agree with you. But I think that, did he get any flowers? Did he get any appreciation by people by putting that in the thing? You know, and the fact that it was leaked the day before the day before the game, was that deliberate so that it kind of, you know, it poured a little bit of cold water over the protest? If you believe the protest was ever going to be big anyway, do you think that I mean, I've got no idea, but let's be honest. At the end of the day, you're absolutely right, Johnny. The facts are the facts. We've signed one player that we apparently paid £10 million more than we needed to for. We've signed a kid, and it took him about 2.5 weeks to get his work permit. And we're about to fail on an opportunity for Andy Robertson that's only because we're replacing a guy that's injured in Ben Davies.
Correct.
It really doesn't scream like there's any kind of.
Can we also add that Alejo Veliz is still at Rosario Central because we couldn't even read our own fucking contract? He had to play. He could only be recalled if he didn't play 50% of his games. And they didn't even realise that he had played 50% of his games. Therefore,
who writes these contracts?
Who doesn't know what's in them?
That's what I mean. But yeah, like I'm sure I put something about 50%. Can you imagine when like Vinay gets that call going, "Oh yeah, you thought we were going to sell him for 10 million. Apparently we can't." Who is it? Who's done that? And the guy's written that clause and's gone, "Oh shit, my bad."
I mean, it's an absolute joke, Sean. It's an absolute joke. And now I hear, you know, the news. Listen, I've always been a fan of Callum Oluwaseyi, right? He's captain of the under-21s, a real tidy little player. So I was really shocked to see that he's gone to Torino today. And
with an option, right, as well.
With an option.
Yeah.
I
mean, good move for him. Good move.
Good move for him, but are we going to see another Noni Madueke? Because because Noni was a real talent in the academy as well. I mean, he obviously went to Holland to get his chances, but I thought Callum was a tidy player. And if you don't rate Callum Oluwaseyi, why have you made him captain? Why is he captain of the team? It's beyond me. I don't get it.
What the option is, though, this is the thing, right? If you don't know what level of player he is, if he's going out on loan, if he's going out on loan with an option, then like if he does well, they'll trigger it, but it's not going to be for a lot of money. So you might have a player in there, like you say, it could be an Noni Madueke, right? You might have a player in there that is, you know, a future 25, 30 million pound midfielder, 40 million pound midfielder. But if he hasn't played barely any minutes for the first team at Tottenham, then you're loaning him out with any real knowledge on what it is that he's valued at. So what do you reckon his option will be? Like 3 or 4 million quid?
That's just ridiculous. How do you know that the player is not, you know, if he has enough capabilities that you want to make him a captain, why would you lend him out, sell him at 18 years of age? I'm sort of a bit confused, to be honest. And
the fact that he's gone to Torino, whereas other players like Tyrese Hall and that are at loans in the lower league. Notts County. Does that tell you that, because Torino are a good team, well, decent team. Yeah.
Well,
they can see something in him. What?
They can see something in him.
Well, that's what I mean. So, like, why? Like, surely he's not the one that you sell. Well, surely he's not the one that you. Surely he's one of the better ones of the bunch, right? Well, so, like, what?
Are they trying to just pull up some? We can get £8 over here if we get rid of him and get rid of him. What are they doing? What are they making space for somebody? What are we doing?
Yeah, I'd much rather he hang around. And then someone like Dane Scarlett that's failed 5 times, get rid of him. See you later.
Yeah. Did he not actually say, we want to see more of our academy players? Sorry, let me just recap. We would like to see more of our academy players make the transition into the first team. Did they not say that? That's what
they said we want the academy to be utilized better, like to either support the first team or to support the first team's transfer plans, i.e. we'll sell some of these players as well and let that get into the pot, right? Which is fine, because not all of them are going to make it into Tottenham's first team. But the one that if Oluwaseyi is good enough that Torino want him, why are you doing that? Just loan no option.
Loan him out.
No option. Loan no option though. Don't give him an option to fucking buy him if he
loan him out. Loan him
And bring
out.
him back, and then we'll have the conversation. Not
Yeah.
rocket science.
Loan him out. Let him play fantastic. His value goes up. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Okay. Well done, Callum. Come back into the team now. You've got some great experience. Listen, right now, Mikey Moore, excuse me, is starting for Rangers every week.
He'll be the next one. All of a sudden, there'll be Mikey Moore goes for 15 million quid or something.
They love him out there. They absolutely adore him up there. I lived up in Glasgow for a number of years for a reason I won't go to, work, what have you. And I became a Rangers fan. I didn't have an affiliation. I just became very friendly with a Rangers player, and that's how it came about. So for me, I was happy that he went there. But he has turned it around. And let me tell you something, he's had to reach into the depths there. When they were absolutely shocking, he was getting blamed for everything. He was called one of the worst signings ever. Now they've got songs about him, and he's loving life. And now they've got a title challenge. He's underway. You know, he is getting unbelievable experience. Imagine if he went to Rangers with a loan, with an option to buy. Right now, we'd be saying, what have we done? And that's what I don't.
Do you think he's been playing that well up there, though?
He's getting better and better, Sean. He is, honestly. Yeah.
Okay. I know he's got a couple of goals, crucial goals and all that, but whenever I've seen the games that he's played in, I've always found him fairly anonymous.
His passing is exactly what we could do with right now. He is able to break the lines with his passing, right? We don't have that right now, which is why we like looking for a Curtis Jones or whatever. But look, I don't know when they said 150 million, maybe they meant 150 million denaries.
Rupees, yeah.
Oh, rupees.
We're struggling here. Let's do a couple of super chilly chit chats, Johnny. That's all right with you, mate?
Yeah.
Dino Chudini, always here, always supporting the Super Sticker train. The trip commenced this morning. We appreciate you. But by the way, guys, please don't forget to smash the like button and hit the subscribe and notification buttons. All that stuff should be squeezed. Appreciate everyone rocking up for the early show. Big up to you, Dino Chudini, my man. Roy Viking, member for 7 months. I think you've been a member for as long as we've had memberships available, man.
That's exactly how long we've been going. Yeah. So
how long we've been monetized, I think. I'm genuinely hoping for a proper new manager bounce against in the North London derby. I honestly can't deal with the thought of Frank setting the team up for that game. Look. New manager bounce isn't always the way it goes, though. There's plenty of examples of new managers coming in and then just completely collapsing and nothing changing. And then you've got a whole lot of new problem stuff to worry about. I don't know. For me, over the last few games, I know I'm going to be in the minority on this one. But Johnny, for me, I feel like I've seen.
No, I agree.
Like I've seen improvements. And so when you factor in all of the variables, the risk, the reward, all this stuff, like I don't think that you change it now. I don't. You know, but I know the fans have just made their mind up, Johnny. The fans are like, it doesn't matter anymore. If we lose a game, if we played against Arsenal and we played them off the park, and we conceded a last minute losing goal, the fans would still boo them off the pitch because the fans, especially the away fans, they made their mind up. They don't want this guy. They don't like him. And I think that once that's set in, I think it's difficult to change. What's your thoughts, Johnny?
Look, I had a rant after the game, but on reflection, I 100% think that we need to keep him to the end of the season unless he continues to lose. I think the instant reaction is to get rid of him. But I'm like you. The last two games, I personally think it's Heitinger, right, who's come in and, a lot of people say, oh, but he was manager of Ajax and look what happened there. I don't subscribe to that. The guy was behind, as I said before, Arne Slot and that great Feyenoord team that was great in Europe, played some fantastic football. He was behind Arne Slot, right in the mix for last season's football. And I think what I can see, for some unknown reason, in the last two games, we've passed the ball far quicker than we have done all season. And our transition has been better. And
No, I
we
agree.
seem to be more progressive. Now, I know two games is not a great snapshot window of anything. But
I think we played quite well against Aston Villa. I know we beaten by the better team, but
yeah,
I thought we played okay in that game. I thought we were decent against West Ham. Obviously, unlucky at the end. Thought we were decent in the game against Brentford.
well, Bournemouth. Brentford was one of the worst games I've ever
Sorry,
seen.
not Brentford. Sorry,
yeah, Bournemouth,
Sunderland, Bournemouth. There
Yeah.
were some decent performances, and I think it's just moving in the right direction. Like I say, if it wasn't for if we were in the relegation zone right now, of course he has to go, right? Or if we find ourselves in that situation in 2 or 3 games time, then maybe you have to make a decision. But right now, just when there's nowhere to go, the cost of getting rid of him, the disruption, all of his coaching staff, there's no particularly available option to replace him with right now, and the fact that in the summer there's going to be a lot more options available. Then I feel like the only reason you'd get rid of him is if you really genuinely thought you were getting sucked into a relegation battle. And for that to happen, several things have to to figure themselves out. One is that West Ham have to go on a continuation of their recent form. 2 is ours needs to completely fall off a cliff again. And then so does Nottingham Forest and Leeds. And then if those things happen, then obviously you make the change. But I don't know. For me, I just feel like at the moment you give him a little bit more time.
But we cannot excuse the board if they do not give him some assets. He needs some tools. He needs a creative midfielder that can break the lines, right? He needs a left winger, an out-and-out left winger, a quality left winger. And we don't seem to be anywhere near. And right now, if the window closed today, the protests are just going to intensify, Sean. I can't see them letting up. I can only see it getting much, much worse.
It'll be interesting actually to see what that looks like. Just quickly, Rob Belcher says, brilliant content as always. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you, mate. Very nice for you, buddy. Hope you're okay, mate. Thank you very much. Very generous of you this morning. And John Turney, our friend over in Japan, big up to you, my man. He says, Jesus Perez until the end of the World Cup and then pass it on to Poch.
John, I'm coming out to Japan in end of March, April. Really excited about going there. So hopefully there'll be a game on. I can try and get to watch a game in a fan pub in Tokyo or wherever a game's on out there.
Where are you going in Japan?
Going to Osaka, Tokyo, Kyoto.
Wow.
A few other places. Then to South Korea.
Nice. Well, over how long a period?
3 weeks.
Nice.
3 weeks. Okay. I'm going to the demilitarized zone, so if you don't see me again.
Something wrong. You did something wrong. Big up to you, Johnny boy. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much indeed. Other transfer news, views, and clues, though, Johnny.
I've got loads, mate. Got loads.
Fulham have made a bid worth £28 million for PSV Eindhoven striker Ricardo Pepi.
The
28.
USA
International has.
I was told 38. Is that it's 28? You might be right.
I'm saying £28 million, but it might be 35 million euros or whatever.
Yeah.
Fulham tried to sign Pepi last January, but had a bid worth £21 million rejected. They're pushing up the numbers. He scored 11 goals in 9 starts in all competitions this season. Apparently, he's a bit of a handful, this kid.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they spent the money on the big Brazilian that hasn't come off brilliantly. He hasn't. What was his name? Not Derek. What was his name? Fulham's
Kev.
Derek. Yeah, Big Kev. Big Kev has been a bit of disappointment, right? Derek. Big Del. Now, listen, look, I always thought Igor Jesus was going to be a star and Esteval, and both of them, Esteval and Igor Jesus, both did me proud on the weekend. Both of them scoring 2 fantastic goals. I think one of them will end up at Real Madrid and Barcelona, and the other one will end up, Igor Jesus, I think will end up probably at a big club as well, bigger than Forest, that's for sure. Rennes have rejected Jeremy Jacquet's approach, and Liverpool are sniffing around because it looks like Gomez has got an injury again, And as we saw, Virgil made a big mistake the other day. They need backup options. And if they don't sign a centre-back this window, they could be in problem. I was going to say, because Liverpool spent so much money in that January in the summer there, do they need to sell a Curtis Jones for FFP if they were to go and make a big bid for Jeremy Jacquet?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure of their numbers, but they recouped a lot of money in the summer as well, didn't they? They sold Konza for about 40 million.
Diaz, they sold. Yeah.
And Konza. And
well, Diaz and Konza, that was over 100 mil. That was around about 100 mil.
I'm sure there was another one as well. I forget. But yeah, they have sold quite a lot, but then they spent a lot of money. How much did they spend? 120 on Wirtz, 120 on Isak, maybe 40 on Kirkes, was it? And then Frimpong was probably like 30 million as well. Or
Darwin Núñez. Yeah, that was the one. Thanks very much.
Darwin Núñez would probably be a better fit in the league, in the Premier League now than it was in the previous couple of seasons when it wasn't quite as robotic. You know, he'd probably fit the game model more now than he did before.
100%.
Horses for quarters.
100%. I love this one. John Terry has rubbed salt into the Arsenal wounds by highlighting fact that they can no longer break Chelsea's record for the fewest goals conceded in a Premier League season, because Arsenal were touting that they were after that record. If you notice that I don't think they conceded a goal in, I don't know, it was about 5 or 6 games. They didn't concede a single goal. That record is now gone, dust, absolute blown away. So that's that one gone. Go on, Sean. What else have you got? I've got tons.
Yeah, AC Milan, Tottenham, and Chelsea are all battling to sign Juve striker Dusan Vlahovic. The forward is set to become a free agent in the summer and is understood to be keen on a move to the Premier League, although Milan remain confident of landing him. Jean-Philippe Mateta is also on the radar of all of those clubs.
Yeah. Lastminute.com, Sean.
Do you reckon that either of those deals will be done this January? Sorry? Or do you think they'll wait until the summer?
Well, they could do, but I still believe that if Juventus can't come up with the money for Mateta, that on the midnight hour, Spurs are going to try and jump in to save their skins and their reputation, because without it, they're heading for conflict with the fan base right now, as far as I can see, because they ain't delivering. They're just not delivering right now. False promises, hollow. Where's the money? Where's the 150 million? Where's the ambition? Where's the players? You sold one, you bought one in, and a kid. Not good enough. Nowhere near. Aston Villa are looking to improve their midfield with the signing of Weston McKenzie. I'm not a great fan, McKennie. I'm not a great fan of his. I see him in flashes where he's really good, and then I see him as like a ghost.
Yeah.
Do Villa really need him? CC, you're in the chat.
Is she here?
I don't know.
Not seen her today.
She's
still in bed.
Probably still in bed. We've gone early today. Would you take a punt? No.
I think he's bang average.
No. No, I don't see enough in him. I don't see enough of him consistently. He's not the same player as he was last season, Colin. Last season, probably, yes. One player that looks like, well, he's definitely going to leave Manchester City this summer, and one place that he's looking to go to is Barcelona. You could see Bernardo Silva at Barca, couldn't you? You really could.
How old is Silva now?
34, but he could still play out there. Still play out there, definitely. Talking about Barcelona, has anyone seen the images of the Spotify Nou Camp Stadium, the £1 billion?
He pissed it down. They all got soaked.
Right, so it's ruined. All of the machinery, all of the cameras and the technical equipment has all been ruined. All the TV stuff, thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds worth of equipment. It was pouring through the central gantry as well. And I think it's at 60% capacity now. They hope to have something like 105 to 110,000 when complete in the stadium. But they found 200. They tried to block them going back in. They found over 200 faults with the quality within the stadium, but they still managed to get them in somehow. And it's reminiscent basically of
Spanish construction work, mate. You know.
Oh yeah,
they start a project and they just fuck it off for a few years and come back to it later on.
Oh my God, right. But I mean, it's a very reminiscent of Man United's Old Trafford, how that is now. But Man United haven't spent, you know,
rename it Ole Trafford.
Ole Trafford.
Yeah,
but
very
no,
good.
so that was, if you haven't seen it, go and look at it online after the show, obviously. But it's incredible. Could you imagine if Daniel Levy spent £1 billion on the stadium and the first one the water was pissing in through the centre, in the south stand?
Does the new comp have a roof?
It doesn't have a roof yet.
But was it ever going to have one? Because the last one didn't either, did it?
Yeah, but they're saving up for it, Sean. They're saving up for it. They hope to have the roof. They hope to start the roof at the end of I think summer of 2026. They hope to start doing the roof.
How often does it rain in Barcelona though?
Still rains plenty.
Is it?
It's winter. Yeah. Still rains plenty. But quite an amusing view, that one. The rumours around Chelsea Cole Palmer, right? There's been so many rumours about him being unsettled, but Liam Rossinia, otherwise known as Sir to his classmates, the PE teacher, says that he's extremely happy at the club. Is that like a vote of confidence in a manager, Sean?
I see what you're saying. I don't know. I haven't really followed this story. Is he unhappy? Why would he be unhappy at Chelsea? He's a legend.
Well,
they love him there. I know you said yesterday that he wants to go back up north to Manchester, does he, or something?
Well, there was rumours that Manchester United would put in a bid for him. Look, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Maybe he doesn't like it down there. I'm not sure. But there has been rumours, and quite a lot of them, through various outlets. Whether or not it will ever happen, I'm not sure. But Chelsea are also pushing to sign that Argentinian wonder kid for 45 million. I think we spoke about him yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah.
45 million. I mean, how many more wonder kids do they need? Honestly, it's like a nursery. It's like
if they bring these all in at 18 years, then in 3 years' time they can sell them for pure profit, can't they? Just another way
they've got the Ecuadorian duo that they bought that are meant to be fantastic. They've got Esteval. They've got a whole load of others that are out in Strasbourg. And now they're after this guy. I think the idea is snap up all the talent, Sean, and eventually you won't be. You'll have some more. Josh,
you know what, though, mate? It doesn't seem to work for they haven't exactly smashed it out of the park. What I would say, can you imagine how complicated their accounts are? Like with all of the money coming in, all the money going out, all of the player transfers, all of the there's going to be installments on some of them. There'll be pure profit on the PSR calculation. Whereas at Tottenham, it seems a little bit more simple, right? Like sponsorship money in, TV money in, one player going this way, one player coming this way. Just very simple. I reckon our reports, the reports that we send to the PSR and the Premier League are like this thin. Whereas I reckon that Chelsea's is like this, that.
We don't have any trades. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yeah.
One player that Chelsea said it's impossible to let go this window is Josh Achampong, the Chelsea defender, who's meant to be the absolute nuts. Not sure why they said. They are short in defence. Crystal Palace looking like they did with Mark Gahey from Chelsea to try and bring him in this window to fill that void for the future, to be the mainstay at the back there with Lacroix. They say he can't come. There's also interest from him from Juventus and about 2 or 3 other clubs. One player who was about to sign a new contract and has eased off and has alerted a whole load of clubs is Harry Wilson of Fulham, former Liverpool, Welsh international. He's really having a renaissance, isn't he?
Fantastic season. I think he's the 5th highest goal scorer in the league this year. I think there's like joint 5th.
Yeah, got another late one. Got another late one on the weekend there to get them the 2-1 win.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's having a good season. I don't know. I don't know what level he's ready for. I don't think he's at 28 years old. Is like, who's going to take a punt on him of a big team? I think he's
Mateta's 28, sure, coming up 29.
Yeah, but do you want to join? Yeah, but okay, that's true. But do you?
Yeah.
How do I say that? So what are you saying that? So where would Fulham go to Crystal Palace?
No, I'm just saying. Look, Harry Wilson's got several clubs looking at him. If you're at Fulham, you're not going to Crystal Palace, are you?
I don't think
Fulham,
so.
No. So, but what I'm saying is several Premier League clubs. So what I'm saying is he making a step up for more money, or does he stay at Fulham for good money? That's the question for him. Remember, he was at Liverpool, so he took a step down. He went backwards to come forwards, which I always admire in a player, and he's fulfilling that potential now. I mean, would I take him at Spurs? Maybe not, but is he better than Fulham? But there again, look at Fulham. They're 8th in the league?
Yeah, 3 points off of Champions League.
Yeah. And people were turning their nose up. They were turning their nose up.
You take Wilson at Spurs. Jake would take Wilson at Spurs. I think Jake is a Welsh boy, isn't he? Proper Welsh lad.
Proper Welsh lad.
I think Colin might be Welsh as well, isn't it? So I don't know, but are you just talking about your boy because he's Welsh? Is that why you like him at Tottenham? Is it?
Where has he been? He's been up on the hill and down in the valley with Gwyneth. Manchester United have identified a player that Sean and I like at Barcelona, Mark Casado, in a potential signing, but they might have to wait until the summer for the midfielder. He's definitely, obviously, thinking he wants to leave. Barcelona need to sell players. They're desperate for money. They really are. If they're going to buy anyone, that's why Bernardo Silva makes sense there. He goes there, free transfer, pay him a nice wage, and he sails off into the sunset. But they need to sell players. Manchester United, are Manchester United going to go for a Belieber, a Walton, or an Anderson? Or do those players go to Manchester City and Liverpool before they go to United?
Oh, listen, you know how I feel, mate. I've got a real I don't like Manchester United. I don't like them. I think their fans really wind me up with their inability to see that they're not the team that they were under Alex Ferguson. The last 13 years of decline have been quite dramatic and drastic. Their stadium's falling apart. And I think that the fans are so quick to think that they've turned it around because they have one good win here, one good win there. I hope that they kind of will just get back on, like just chip away again. They'll lose the next game or whatever, and I hope that will shut them up a little bit. Now, in terms of where do I put Man United in the pecking order of the teams that I'm not a fan of, like 4th or 5th, but. At the end of the day, my opinion is irrelevant. These players still want to go and sign for Manchester United. They do. All of these players want to go and sign for Manchester United. So there's every chance that Belieber or Adam Wharton will end up there, 100%.
Yeah, I don't think Belieber. I mean, Brighton quoting £100 million for Belieber.
Yeah,
was absolutely right now. He's more like 15 million. He hasn't had a great season.
Yeah, 40 or 50.
And all the cries for players like Matoma, £80 million. He's hardly done anything.
Yeah,
hardly anything. Real Madrid midfielder Turashemi has been linked with the move away from the club, and he is on the radar of Liverpool and who else, Sean?
Manchester United.
Wait for it. Comedy time. Cue jokes. Tottenham Hotspur.
Do me a favour. Sure, many. No chance.
You know who that's from, don't you? Finches.
Fishacious.
Yeah, Fishacious. Yeah. He makes it up in his sleep, that guy.
Yeah, he's the give me sport of Spanish.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Let me think. Real Madrid again have said that there's no way that he's leaving. Trent Arnold, that's one. Listen, what about these reports, Sean? Let's just quickly do the Spurs ones. That Xavi Hernandez as a manager and Curtis Jones as a Spurs signing. But if he was to make the signing, Spurs would have to make a massive bid for Curtis Jones. And Liverpool would have to look at replacing him with Adam Walton. Or do you just go and say to Adam Walton, we're going to make you the mainstay of our team and whack the money down on him?
Yeah, well, Curtis Jones and Adam Walton are different players.
No, different. I know, but I mean, I'm just...
But I think that's not the swap. But I don't think Adam Walton would come to Tottenham unless you can go and make him an offer. And this is the thing. I feel like at the moment, Tottenham's hierarchy solution to all of this, they just think that they just pay more money, then they'll solve the issue. They think that the solution is throwing money at the problem. But throwing money at bad players or poorly profiled players, it leaves you in the situation that Manchester United have been found in the last 10 years with all these players that they bought in without the profiling strategy in place, overpaying, having dead weights on their books, and then the consequences are there. So like Tottenham the plan needs to be a little bit better than just thinking, oh, we'll just pay £10 million over the top for players that we think we can get. No, you've got to need to identify players that are actually going to move the needle. And let's be honest, thus far, I know it's only been 2 games, but Conor Gallagher hasn't exactly done anything, has he?
No. He pressed and pressed and pressed, a bit like my dog used to do when I had the ball. He would press and press and press until he got the ball back, but actually had no idea what he was doing other than chasing the ball. And that's what I saw with Conor Gallagher. Listen, I'm sure he will improve, but he hasn't set the place alight, has he, Sean?
No, he hasn't. Bissouma looks like the new signing, if I'm entirely honest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's put the balloons to one side.
Yeah,
he's taking it easy now. He's taking it easy. I haven't seen him come head to toe in Louis Vuitton. I'm sure if he could, he'd be wearing his Louis Vuitton earrings and his shorts for the game. But no, he hasn't done that. Guys, if you're in the chat, please hit the like button. And lots of you guys who are here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 6,000. Haven't even been going a year yet, guys. About 7 months since we've been monetized. And if you could hit the like button. And if you're listening on audio, guys, please hit the like and subscribe button there, or the follow button, and leave us a cheeky little review if you get time. That would be great. What else you got there, Shawnee?
Nothing much, mate. I've got to run. I've got to run out the door for 5 minutes before I sort of go on to the next thing. So,
no worries, mate. Just very quickly, Paqueta to Flamengo. Looks like it's done. 41.23, very precise. 41.23 million euros. Guys, thanks very much for your support. Couldn't do it without you. And thanks to our sponsor, OK Jersey. And don't forget
15% off, code FINC15, FINC15 for an extra 7% off, and you already get.
Yes, 15%, not the 8% you got here. So OK Jersey, FINC, and put in 15, you get 15% off. Guys, thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow, unless there's breaking news, and I'll do one later. And then you can catch us on the Spurs 5 tonight if you're a Spurs fan.
Yeah, I'll be on the Spurs Talk Show in just a minute, guys. So if you fancy come over there, you're more than welcome as well. Johnny, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from him.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, I've got